the headquarters of the 4th Air Fleet of the Luftwaffe, which supported the Wehrmacht's offensive in the Balkans, proposed the capture of the island of Crete even before the occupation of mainland Greece was completed. The initial plan for the upcoming operation was sent by the commander of the corps, Alexander Lohr, to Hermann Göring in Berlin. Göring's subordinates liked the idea, however. The high command of the Wehrmacht preferred plans for operations against Malta. On April 20, after a conference with the commander of the 11th Air Corps, Lieutenant General Kurt Student, Adolf Hitler expressed his support for the operation in Crete. Historian M. Sharp believes that two key factors influenced Hitler's decision: the possibility of eliminating the threat of British air raids on the oil fields of Ploesti in Romania and the need to establish a forward base in Crete from which offensive air and naval operations could be launched, as well as to support the Italian-German campaign in Egypt. 5 days later, Hitler signed Directive N-28 for the execution of Operation Merkur. According to the directive, to the undisguised pleasure of Göring, the Luftwaffe was entrusted with carrying out the operation. The operation was scheduled to begin on May 16. The preparation and execution of Operation Mercury were assigned to Alexander Lohr. The plan of the 11th Luftwaffe Air Corps headquarters envisioned a simultaneous parachute landing and the landing of glider troops at 7 points on the island of Crete. The first wave of paratroopers landed in Malim and Kania, and the second in Rethymnon, modern Rethymno. A group of 15,000 airborne troops was supposed to consolidate the seized beachheads with counterattacks. On the second day, troops of the 5th Mountain Rifle Division with heavier weaponry were to be airlifted to the 3 already captured airfields on the island. The third wave of the advancing forces, a total of 6,000 men, was being transported to Crete by sea, with the support of Italian forces, and was to be landed at the ports and convenient bays of the island. The third wave was intended to deliver heavy equipment and armaments to the island, including tank units of the 31st Tank Regiment, field and anti-tank guns, ammunition, food supplies, medicines, and more. The landing was supported by the 8th Air Corps of the Luftwaffe, consisting of 716 aircraft, reconnaissance planes, fighters, and bombers, which were to operate against both the garrison of the island and the strong naval force of the British fleet covering Crete. The convoy from the Kriegsmarine was carried out by Rear Admiral Carl George Schuster. Problems with logistics forced the operation date to be moved to May 20. By this time, the Luftwaffe had gained air superiority over Crete. However, by the start of the operation, it was not possible to deploy the parachute units of the 8th Air Corps from Ploiesti, where they were guarding the Romanian oil fields, as planned. As a result, the paratroopers were replaced by mountain troops from the 5th Mountain Division, who lacked experience in airborne operations. The 11th Air Corps commanded by Kurt Student was responsible for the assault on the island, which initiated the operation against Crete. The striking force consisted of 10 air transport wings, a total of 500 Ju-52 transport aircraft and 80 DFS-230 gliders, for delivering the landing troops from airfields in mainland Greece. The strike group also included the Air Landing Assault Regiment, Luftlandssturm Regiment, commanded by Major General Eugen Meindl, the 7th Air Division under Lieutenant General Wilhelm Sussman, and the 5th Mountain Rifle Division of Julius Ringel. From radio intercepts and data from their intelligence on mainland Greece, the British knew about the enemy's preparations for a landing operation. The Royal British Navy, which was based in Ceuta Bay, suffered greatly from continuous bombardments by Luftwaffe aircraft, and the only aircraft carrier the British had lost most of its deck aviation during the battles for Greece and could not provide effective air protection for the island. One day before the start of the German operation to land on Crete, the commander of the island's garrison, Major General Bernard C. Freyberg, sent his aircraft away from the island, believing that British naval forces in the garrison, which included the New Zealand Division, had the capability to hold Crete and destroy the landing.